be taking on the New York Mets. The New York Mets and the Mariners are facing off for the third time in 3 days. At the conclusion of this 3-game series, the Mets and the Mariners are currently tied at 1 game apiece in this series. Mariners went 2-2 on the road trip so far and have 3 games coming up after this. In Philadelphia against the Phillies, this is the end of the Mets homestand. As they will be heading off to play games in Washington starting on Tuesday. As I am currently waiting for my computer to work with some things that I'm not understanding why it's not working, but it isn't. All right. Mariners, Mets starting our first pitch should be in about 2 minutes. We just had the ceremonial first pitch where players from every one of the Little League World Series teams, all 20 of them from around the world, threw out the first pitch by going from the outfield wall all the way in to the mound where the pitch was thrown in a manner that was absolutely wonderful and we absolutely love to see. Because when that happens, we know that the Mariners and Mets game is about to start here over there in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Williamsport, Pennsylvania has been the home of the Little League Classic for several years. The first one in 2018. It was canceled in 2020 due to COVID-19, unfortunately. But it came back in 2021, 2022, 2023, and, of course, this year in 2025. And, of course, last year, Julio Rodriguez is in the hole. Randy Arozarena is up to bat. And Cal Raleigh, the big dumper, is, of course, your number 2 hitter today for the Mariners. The Mariners look to do something that they haven't done in a while, which is make the playoffs before the last day of the season. The last time the Mariners made the playoffs, and it didn't come down to the last day of the season, was in 2001, where they played and won 116 of their 162 games. We are getting ready for the first pitch. It's at Journey Bank Ballpark in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. The game was a little bit delayed, which is fine, as both teams were able to have some fun today with the Little Leaguers. Julio is in the hole, Cal on deck, Randy Arozarena up to bat. Randy Arozarena struck out 3 times yesterday. Unfortunately, it's going to be Randy Arozarena in left field, Cal at catcher, Julio Rodriguez in center field, Josh Naylor at first base, Eugenio Suarez at third, Jorge Polanco, the switch-hitting designated hitter, will bat 6th, Dominic Canzone in right, J.P. Crawford, the left-handed shortstop, is 8th, and Nicole Young, the left-hander, is going to be at second base to round out the lineup for our Seattle Mariners today. Clay Holmes was the starting pitcher for the Mets. George Kirby is the announced starter for the Mariners. Clay Holmes is a 3.71 ERA in 126 innings with a 19% strikeout rate and a 10% walk rate. The MLB averages are 23 and 7, respectively, so a slightly lower than average strikeout rate and a slightly above average walk rate. And here we are. We are ready for the first pitch of the game, and it's gonna be hitting Randy Arozarena in the head. That was just not okay. It hit Randy in the head. Randy's gonna take first. Randy seems okay. He's heading down to first. The Mets catcher came out to check on their pitcher to make sure he doesn't have the yips, because that's just, wow. That was just bad. Randy Arozarena at first base. Cal Raleigh steps in. Runner on first, nobody out. Mariners stand at 68 and 56, first to the AL wildcard. And that is low and outside for ball 1. Cal Raleigh is from a place called Cullowhee, North Carolina. He's been playing catcher since his days in the leagues. And Holmes is going to attempt a pickoff at first base and fail. Randy Rosarena safe at first. Randy Rosarena is safe at first base in an excellent there. Clay Holmes has thrown 2 pitches, both of them balls. One hit Randy and the other one 1-0 on Cal. Cal's averaging a 250 average and swung on and fouled off down the right field line. He fouled that pitch off, makes the count 1-1. Now your puppy can get all dirty again is a actual achievement. Cal has a 953 FPS with 46 home runs on the season. And that is curveball for a ball, 2-1. The Seattle Mariners and New York Mets meet once per season at their alternating home ballparks, and that is a check swing. Cal does not go around. 3-1 count. 3-1 count for the big dumper. Let's see if Holmes ends up loading the bases up here. Remember, the biggest enemy for the Mariners is no outs, bases loaded. With Julio coming up would be pretty interesting here with runners on first and second, and Cal swings through that one. That's a strike. Strike 2. 3-2. Cal calls time. All right, here comes Cal. Full count of payoff pitch here. Cal has a pretty nice bat today for Players Weekend. And we got the pitch swung on and fouled away down the right field line. 3-2 count again. Not 100% sure how many pitches Cal's going to take here, but this is the 7th pitch of the at-bat, so always good to take 7 or 8 pitches. Once you get to 7, 8, 9, 10, you've pretty much won the at-bat. Cal swings through that one and strikes out. Runner on first, 1 out. Randy Rosarena at first. Julio Rodriguez up to bat. Julio is having a decent season, potentially on pace to actually surpass some of Ken Griffey's first 5-year numbers this season, especially in on-base and steals. Julio takes a strike. Holmes is settling in here, looking a little bit better than he was before, which is honestly good. I'd like to actually beat a guy on his A game, not on his B game. And here we go. Holmes, Julio swing, and that's fouled down the left field line. Not much power on that. Earlier today, Julio was sliding down the hill, and he slid right into a big group of people, and it was not the most pleasant experience for him. And that's a swing down to the third baseman to second, first, and it is in time. Mariners go down 1, 2, 3, despite the leadoff hit by pitch by Randy Rosarena. Second consecutive day that Julio Rodriguez grounds into a double play. Yesterday was a really good play. Today was just an unfortunate product of how Julio hit the ball into play. Mets coming up, and it's going to be Lindor, Soto, and Nimmo. Lindor at short, Soto in right, Nimmo in left, Alonso at first, McNeil the DH. Alvarez is catching, Batty at second, Vientos at third, and Mullins in center field. Do you hear the people sing? Apparently there was a situation with Kettle Marte today. I'm not 100% sure what happened there. But it didn't look good in terms of just what the other players were saying to the media. Hello, Tyrell. All right, we are getting ready for the Mariners, putting George Kirby up on the mound. George Kirby is one of the best pitchers, in my opinion. Julio played Little League in the Dominican Republic, I believe. Julio was an excellent international signee. He made the majors at a really young age, and we gave him a pre-arbitration extension that I think is working out pretty well. We're paying for his development, and depending on how well he does in terms of MVP voting, he may end up being well worth that extension. Well worth the extension. Average view duration 59 seconds. Yeah, that's not true. All right, here we go for the Mariners. For the Mariners, it's Kirby from Rye, New York, a small town in New York. A very small town in New York. First 3 starts, he was 0-3 with an 8.56 ERA and a 9.94 OPS from his opponent. He's 8-3 cents, and he brings that one in for a strike. He froze him on that one. Comes George Kirby. Francisco Lindor is from Puerto Rico, specifically a town called Cogos. Francisco Lindor is the batter. And Lindor swung on and fouled back. 0-2. Francisco Lindor's hobbies include riding a bicycle. He's got a 255 batting average, a 775 OPS, and a 24 home runs with 70 RBIs this season. All right, here we go, and there's the pitch, and it is high, top rail, and that's going to be ball 1, 1-2. George Kirby takes the mound. He is going into the stretch, and the pitch swung on by Lindor, and that's going to be a base hit to right field. He's going to make it to first, but not to second. Dom Canzone gets the throw in. Excuse me. George Kirby does not walk a lot of opposing batters, and unfortunately that does lead to him giving up some base hits in situations where you wouldn't expect him to. But he also doesn't throw a lot of balls. It's 0-1 as 0-0 as Juan Soto comes in and takes a strike. The Buffalo Bills game is about to start in 5 minutes. We'll see if I might throw that on as well. Mr. and Mrs. Met, along with the Mariner Moose, are here today. George Kirby with attempt to pick him off, and he got him. On his way to first, he applies the tag. Gut stealing for Francisco Lindor. Francisco Lindor has been caught stealing, and it was a thing of beauty. It was an absolute thing of beauty for George Kirby. George Kirby erases that first base runner. It's 0-1 on Soto. Francisco Lindor caught stealing, and now George Kirby with an 0-1 on Juan Soto. Juan Soto's been a pretty decent player this year. That's outside for ball 1. 1-1 on Soto. Juan Soto's favorite singer is apparently Bad Bunny. And here's the pitch, and that's off of Kirby to JP. JP to first, and that is out. Let's go. We got to check on George. It is off of George Kirby, and he's up and all right. It looks like. Yeah, that went right off George. But it went JP to first. A 1-6-3 out. Everybody's getting back in position. George is okay. We got Nimmo in there. George, swing, check, swing. He does not go. Ball 1. Brandon Nimmo is from Cheyenne, Wyoming. Wyoming is German for no state here. That's why Wyoming isn't real. Kirby with us. Swing, Kirby with the ball, picks it up, and with a soft toss over to first, he gets out of that inning in less than 10 pitches. Very, very good for George Kirby. Gives up a leadoff base runner. And that's 1 hit, no runs, nobody left, and no errors for the Mariners. For the Mets today, no errors for the Mariners in the bottom of the 9th, or bottom of the 1st. We go to the top of the second. Mariners, nothing. Mets, nothing. Here in Williamsport, Pennsylvania, for the Little League Classic. The Little League Classic is the conclusion of MLB Players Weekend, where MLB players are able to show off their flair with unique things, such as their unique bats, unique gloves, although yesterday one of the pitchers was required to remove their pencil glove because it was too distracting to the other team, unfortunately. Something that I did not agree with, but unfortunately the umpires in Major League Baseball are allowed to make that decision, and I'm not. Here we go. We're going to have, for the Mariners, coming up, 4, 5, and 6 coming up. It's going to be Josh Naylor, Eugenio Suarez, Jorge Polanco. Mariners hit into a double play. Mets hit into a double play. And Mets did not hit into a double play. Mets had a caught stealing and hit into 2 quick outs. After that, George Kirby is playing very, very well. I am absolutely excited to see what Josh Naylor can do. Josh Naylor has like 13 stolen bases since he's joined the Mariners. Josh Naylor is one of the best baseball players I've ever seen in terms of actual, like, playing a baseball. I need to go and take care of figuring this out. Hold on. Because I'd like to have the Bills game on as well, so that I can actually see that as well. I'd like to sign in. It's this one, or is it the other one? Nope. Manage your account. Manage your account. It's this one then. Patrick Mahomes. No. Better not be no Patrick Mahomes. I'm tired of Patrick Mahomes. Waffle House. There's a hellhole in it. It's absolutely ridiculous. That's a ball from our starting pitcher for the Mets, Clay Holmes. The Buffalo Bills and Chicago Bears game is starting now as well. This week on Yes, the Yankees play the Rays. I don't know why I'm getting Yes commercials on my YouTube TV when I don't have Yes. All right, here we go. Pete Alonso is in the field right now having an interview with the Mariners coaching staff. Or not the Mariners coaching staff, the ESPN broadcast staff. We have Josh Naylor in with a 1-1 count, and he swings on that and fouls it back at the plate. It's off the umpire. The umpire's just like, I'm okay. He calls time for himself. He calls time for himself because that's a very important thing to make sure that you're okay. We had in the White Sox series, one of the umpires actually had to get no, not the White Sox, the Cubs series. One of the umpires actually had to get emergency medical attention because of dehydration, and that's a curveball in for a ball. 2-2 on Josh Naylor. Clay Holmes has thrown 15 pitches so far. Second inning, nobody out. Top of the first, it's 0-0. Here we go, and Clay Holmes throws, strong on, and that ball is going. It's got the distance, but it's foul. It had the distance, but it was foul. Here we go for a 2-2 pitch here for the Josh Naylor. And swung on down the right field line. Foul. Naylor looked like he kind of didn't get a lot of that one. Feeling good. Might need take a timeout there. That did not look like it felt good. Naylor's been nursing a little bit of an injury all season, which is very unfortunate. As obviously you never want to see an injury to any player, but unfortunately it's never been fun for what we've had to deal with as Mariners fans. We've had a lot of injuries this season to our team, especially our starting pitchers. Our starting pitchers have had some ridiculous things happen to them. Elbow injuries galore. 2-2 on Naylor. My device is shutting down. Naylor is fouling that back. Another 2-2 pitch coming up. They're eating popcorn in the stands. I believe that Major League Baseball provided all of the little leaguers with their popcorn and concessions today. Naylor swung on. That ball is out to right field, and it is going to be caught by the right fielder. Unfortunately, that is one out. Pretty good at bat there. Had about 8-9 pitches for Josh Naylor in an at bat that took a little while longer than I expected. We've got Gino Eugenio Suarez coming up next for the Mariners. Eugenio Suarez is the trade deadline acquisition for the Mariners. Mariners had him in 2022 and 2023, and that's in for strike. While he is in the top of the home run leaderboards, he's also in the top of the strikeout leaderboards. And some of those strikeouts are very, very important. Swung on and fouled away. 0-2 pitch coming up. I don't need that. I also don't need that. And Gino swings in, sends it down the third base line. Third baseman picks it up and he air mauls it into the dugout. And Gino's going to reach on an error. He's going to be on first base safe with an error. Eugenio Suarez, the Mariners' second base runner. One out, one on in the top of the second inning. Jorge Polanco, the switch hitter, coming up to face Clay Holmes. He just air-mauled it all the way past first base. I thought it was actually going to get into the dugout, and Polanco launches this one out to center, and it's caught by the Mets center fielder. Gino has to hold it first, and is 2 away. There's 2 away here for the Mariners in the top of the second. 1 on, 2 out. 1 on, 2 out. If Gino were to score, it would not be an earned run. Gino reached on a E6. Gino reached on an E6. He was scoring along at home. Alrighty, I'm looking at my computer, and that ball is going to be just inside for a strike. Oh my god, I forgot about the Super Carlin brothers. I literally forgot the Super Carlin brothers were people, and Canzone grounds out to second. Super Carlin brothers have 803 million views over the course of their YouTube career, which I am surprised by. I thought they would have had more. But then again, like, they don't upload that often, and they don't do shorts that much. Obviously, they don't do shorts. All right. And here we go. Ready. I forgot the button. I forgot the button. I forgot the button. I forgot the button. Why did YouTube TV go up to $82.99 a month? Jesus. That's ridiculous. That is genuinely ridiculous. That a YouTube TV is $90 a month. Join live. Bills are playing the Bears in Chicago. Mets and Mariners are playing a home game for the Mets in Williamsport, Pennsylvania. Caleb Williams was the first overall draft pick for the Chicago Bears. Chicago Bears have Ben Johnson as their head coach. Josh Allen won the NFL MVP last year in what many were calling an upset over Lamar Jackson, and some people even talked about it potentially being racism. Now, I don't think that that's the case, but there is potentially an argument that could be made, but I don't agree with that argument. Here we go. We are getting ready for kickoff at Soldier Field. And we go to the bottom of the second, score tied for the Mets and the Mariners. Joe Davis and Greg Olson are calling the game for the NFL on Fox for the Bills-Bears because it is a nationally televised game on Fox. The Bills do not have a local broadcast today, surprisingly. I thought we would because we were on NFL Network last week. And Kirby's pitch is check swing called he struck out. Or he struck. He had a strike there. Sorry. Pete Alonso is from Florida, specifically Tampa, and his favorite food is paella. Paella is a delicious food. And Kirby, that ball is swung on up the middle and finds the gap between Cole Young and J.P. Crawford. Julio Rodriguez picks up the ball and gets it into the infield. Pete Alonso reaches on a single. ESPN is really loving the ump cam tonight, and I don't know why. And Kirby's pitch, strike one. We got a first strike here for Kirby. Kirby is now facing Jeff McNeil from Santa Barbara, California. George. Pitch. Swung on down the right field line, and that's going to be a base hit in front of Randy Arozarena. Randy Arozarena throws the ball in, and that's going to hold the runner at second. Mariners now facing runners on first and second. Nobody out. Bottom two. Not really loving the effort from Randy there. That was a catchable ball. It fell in front of him. I believe if that had been to center, Julio would have made that catch. There's a lot of issues in Randy Arozarena's game. And George Kirby is facing runners on first and second. Tosses a ball in for a called strike. Facing Francisco Alvarez from Guatemala, Venezuela. Bills are moving right to left and are going to be kicking off to the Bears. The kick is up and it is in the air and it is caught. Oh, it is fumbled into the end zone, and he is going to get down at the 6-yard line. He's going to bring it out of the end zone, get down to the 6-yard line. Bears coming out. George Kirby throws a ball. I'm calling both games. Cal Raleigh on his catcher's gear has all of his managers and teammates on the catcher's gear. That's a swing and a miss. That is a swing and a miss. 1-2 count on Francisco Alvarez. But yeah, Cal's catcher's gear looks amazing. And it's super cool that he's just got these pictures. And that is swung on and fouled away. George Kirby's going to face another 1-2 pitch on Francisco Alvarez. Kirby's about to throw his 18th pitch of the game. He's only thrown sliders to Alvarez, just about 90 miles an hour on each of them. George Kirby with the throw. Pitch is swung on out to center field. Julio is chasing, and he almost makes the catch, but he doesn't get it. Runners advance. And they are being waved around, and it is going to score 1-0 Mets. Mariners now face a 1-0 deficit with 2 on. Runners at second and third with nobody out. Bottom two. Bears have now made a catch just about midfield. Julio made a good effort, but unfortunately he was not able to actually get the ball in his glove, and then of course he had to recover to get up, so that's either going to be ruled a double or a single and advanced on error. But my thing is that I would say that that was not a play that a average fielder making a reasonable effort would make. George just threw a ball. I'm not liking what I'm seeing right now. George just threw a ball. I am really not liking what I'm seeing as he throws a ball to Brett Beatty. Brett Beatty wants to meet Kevin Hart or The Rock, and I would like to meet The Rock. And swing and fouled back, 1-1. I am absolute. George has only thrown 20 pitches. He got out of the first inning really well, but I'm not liking what I'm seeing in the second inning right now. George, okay. Beatty fouled it off his foot. Caleb Williams is 3 for 3 with 42 yards. Why is the Mets manager yelling at the ump? Oh no, they was just asking Beatty if he was okay. Sean Hockley is the referee for the Bills game. Son of longtime NFL referee Ed Hockley. Ed Hockley was actually a lawyer. 1-2 pitch. And that's a ball well outside. What is going on? What in the hell is going on? George is facing a 2-2 count. Nobody out. Runners on second and third. 1 run already in. He got out of the first inning really, really well, but he's not doing well right now in the second. George throws a ball in the dirt. 3-2, looking to pay off pitch. We're looking for a payoff pitch here. No force outs except at first. A ground out would score a run. And fouled back. A ground out would be an RBI ground out unless it were a double play, but there's really no way to go into a double play unless there's some sort of weird dribbler that he fouls at the plate and we get first and they try to advance, and there's almost no way to get 2 here. George needs a strikeout. This is his 4th batter. Mark Vientos is on deck. Here's the payoff. Swung on, and that's a base hit. That's going to score 2. Mets take it. Oh, it only scored 1. It only scored 1. Nobody out. Runners at the corners. Mariners have a force at first and second now. So that is interesting. That is some interesting strategy now. What do? Obviously, you go to the... I always enjoy how the umps just try to get out of the way as quickly as possible. And now an ump is shaking hands with a player as we have a mound visit with Cal and Pete Woodworth. And that's a touchdown, Chicago. I really don't like what I'm seeing with George right now. George throws a ball. Kirby throws a pitch, and it's a ball. And that swung on out to center field. Julio underneath it. Julio's going to get it. It was deep enough, and that's a sacrifice fly. Mariners trade the run for the out. 3-0 Mets. I don't hate that. That does get us an out. Mariners need 2 more to get out of the inning. George has thrown like 22 pitches this inning. He came into this inning on like 8, and he's at 30. Mets 3, Mariners nothing. George Kirby to Mullins. That's fouled all on the right field line. This is, I'm really not liking this. I know we have the ability to come back. My problem is I don't think we're going to. Cedric Mullins, the center fielder for the Mets. He's been with Baltimore and the Mets this season. And George Kirby is on the mound. 16 seconds left on the pitch clock. Kirby gets in the stretch. Kirby throws. Swung on. Fouled away. George is just throwing way too many pitches right now, and I am incredibly worried about this. Because George, I don't want him to start a playoff game if he's going to be like this on national TV, and all playoff games are nationally televised. George. Swung on and missed. Strike 2. Strike 3. All right, Mariners got 2 outs. Mariners got their second out of the inning. Runner at first, 3 runs in. How pokey doers get more pokey done. That's bouncer up to short, or up to second, and that's going to be an out right at second base for Cole Young. Awesome. Absolutely awesome. We get out of the inning only giving up 3. Mets have 3 runs on 5 hits. Mariners have no runs on 1 hit. We go to the top of the 3rd inning. Mariners looking to get something going from what's been a not great start to the game. The Mariners are looking to try to get something going, but unfortunately it doesn't appear that that's going to be easy today, with the bats being quite quiet and George Kirby not being his usual self. Unfortunately for Mariners fans, that is worrisome because George Kirby was supposed to be one of our 5 best starting pitchers this year, and he's already missed time with injury this year, and we are looking to make a deep playoff run this year. We'd like to do more than just make the wild card, because we'd like to be able to raise a banner other than just the wild card banner. Yes, we raised a wild card 2022 banner. It was hilarious. We raised a 2022 AL wild card banner. Don't ask me why, but we did. I have a massive headache right now. There's nobody watching.